Hey, welcome to another episode of Journey Through the Darkside. I'm Daniel, and yeah, you're gonna notice a different location for the show, and I don't have my partner with me. He's feeling a little underwater today, so Simon, get well soon, and here we go. We continue the journey as is. So right now we're going to be looking at Unforgiven in your house. I'm not Mr. Stats. I don't have my phone on me, so you guys have fucking Wikipedia and Google. You can figure out the stats here. But this is the Unforgiven pay-per-view, and of course, the match we're going to be looking at is the Inferno match. Kane with Paul Bearer in his corner going up against Undertaker. Oh, okay. So the build-up to this match. Like, can you guys hear that? Like, the cicadas are fucking insane. They're right outside my door, just hanging out. They're picketing out there right now. So the build-up for this match. Let me go back. People always gotta ask me. I got a comment actually a long ago where they're just like, especially when it comes to like, when I have Taker versus Mankind matches, or we have Taker versus Kane matches, and they're like, you kind of describe everything you already had. You go over every single thing you've already went through. But you gotta remember, every episode of Journey Through Darkside may be someone's first episode of Journey Through Darkside. Maybe they ain't seen the past episodes. Although I encourage you to do so. Go check it out in the archives. But anyways, when Kane made his debut at Bad Blood in your house, it was the Hell in a Cell match between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Kane interferes, costs Taker the match. During this time, it's interesting because Kane is definitely trying to get his revenge on the Undertaker. Paul Bearer is a driving force throughout all of this. Like, he is literally, he is behind, he's behind the wheel, trying to, take out the Undertaker. But Undertaker is refusing to fight his brother. Just won't do it. This goes up until the Royal Rumble, where, once again, Kane interferes in another Shawn Michaels Taker match. This time it was a casket match for the world title, and Kane interfered and cost Taker the match. Not only did he cost him the match, he's the one who attacks him, throws him into the casket, and then would proceed to light it ablaze, trying to kill the Undertaker. Think about that for a second. God damn. Tried to kill him right there live on pay-per-view. Cops never said shit to him. So anyways, Taker does this awesome promo where, he talks about how he went to, he died and went to the afterlife, and he talked to his parents, and they gave him the okay to beat his little brother's ass, and that's what he's going to do. We'd have a match at WrestleMania between Kane and Taker. Taker would win. However, it was not just like a quick win. Took 3 tombstones, and that even really kept him down. Yeah, he got him down for 1, 2, 3, but Kane's up instantly, beats the shit out of Taker, tombstones him onto a chair. Bada bing, bada boom. He's out. So the very next night on Raw, Paul Bearer comes out, and he is pissed because, once again, his boy Kane just lost, WrestleMania. And so he's like, all right, we're going to have a rematch. But this match, he talked about he had his dream, and in the dream, the ring was surrounded by fire. And so they're going to have an Inferno match where, yes, there's a fucking thing built around the ring, and fire comes off that thing. And, of course, the first person to get set ablaze loses. And that's pretty, imagine that, outside of pro wrestling. Imagine, an MMA fight or a boxing match where they're just like, we're going to set the cage on fire, or, the ring will be surrounded by fire. It's like, no one's doing that. Nobody. I wish they did. I'd watch more MMA and boxing, but, imagine, other sports doing that, like football. They're out there on the gridiron, but, the Raiders just fucking hates the Cowboys, and they're just like, we'll play it this Sunday, but we're not going to do a traditional football match. No. We're going to have fucking fire surrounding the entire thing. Make sure you wouldn't go out of bounds, I'll say that much right now. So anyways, that sets it up right there. Now, the weeks leading up there, man, some of the storytelling is just fucking great. It's ridiculous, but it's so great. Kane and Paul Bearer end up going to their parents, Taker and Kane, to their parents' headstones. And of course, Kane has a sledgehammer, years before Triple H thought it was cool, and he bashes the shit out of these tombstones, and then he douses them in gasoline and lights them ablaze. Symbolic as fuck. So, this of course pisses Taker off. So, Taker goes, apparently these headstones were more decorative. They have a crypt elsewhere, apparently. And so Taker goes to visit the crypt, and when he heads down to the crypt, guess what? The parents' caskets are missing, and he flips out. And it turns out Kane, and it must be the same time they're having, conveniently the same time they're having the Raw tapings, or the Raw event. But anyway, that night, so Kane and Paul Bearer come out in front of the entire, the live audience up on stage, and they have both caskets out. And of course, Kane douses them both in gasoline, and he sets ablaze the father's casket. Boom. Taker comes out to try to stop him from, doing the mother's casket, but for his troubles, he gets choke slammed into the casket. Holy shit! And that's how we go off the air, and that's what we're leading into tonight's Inferno match. I mean, look, it's so ridiculous. It's so over the top, but I don't care. It's so perfect. Like, we don't have good stories like this at all in wrestling today. Go fuck yourself if you think you do. You don't. You just don't. And it's like, I don't know. I remember when this is honestly probably one of my favorite storylines from this year. McMahon Austin was great. It was up to a really rocky start. Like, I just never bought, at this time, Dude Love, Mankind, whatever, as a main eventer. I just didn't. So, the whole Austin versus Dude Love feud that would go on for like 2 months, I didn't really give a shit about at all. But this was the one that I was like, okay, let's get into this. I can't wait to see, where this leads or whatever. Anyways, so let's get to the actual match. Sure enough, they do have the little thing, and there is fire coming up. I think the one thing we got to look at when you look at this match, aside from the in-ring, which actually the in-ring ain't that bad. It's pretty good. How dangerous this match is, yes, it's fake, it's a work, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. But this is real fire. Like, this isn't like CGI fire. This ain't a cinematic match. This is real fire. And I'm just like, many times, you see them get like thrown to the ropes, or they're slumped down in the corner, or there's one point where Kane gets on top of the rope, he gets like hit, and he drops down, and like his feet's above the fire. Like, that's real fire. That shit could easily go up. At one point, they even think like maybe Taker's hair caught fire, and it's like, but yeah, that could have happened. Like, this is legit. So I think right off the bat, this kind of elevates the match to a new level. I know years later, there'd be, they didn't call it an Inferno match, Ring of Fire match, something like that. It had Bray Wyatt and Kane in it. And people said it was like the most boring match, and people booed it or whatever, but it's just like, they're in the middle of fire. Like, give them a little bit of, break there. I don't know. To me, I'm just kind of like, I think right off the bat, kudos to both men for not only, making this match work, but so much imagery too. Because that's the other thing throughout this match. You can take just about any shot from this match, put it on poster, and they look incredible. Just a lot of the shots they did were like through the fire at the wrestlers, just brilliant. I loved all that. The match itself, pretty standard. In fact, Kane kind of dominates a good chunk of this thing. At one point, Taker throws him out. I'm kind of rushing to the end here. I'm not, no disrespect to the match. I just feel like, for the most part, nothing really stands out. I guess at one point, Paul Bearer does throw a chair in there, and, Kane uses it on Taker. He gives him a nasty fucking headshot. But beyond that, it's a pretty standard back and forth kind of bout here. Taker throws Kane over the top ropes. He clears the flames. And now the other thing, too, is that kind of like the video game, anytime you do a move, that's when the fire will shoot up, which makes sense. You don't want that shit to shoot up when they're like standing in near the fucking flames. So obviously whoever's controlling the fire, they would make sure to, make that shit exciting whenever there'd be a big slam, or when someone come off top ropes or whatever, you would boom, blow it up right there. But anyways, Kane's out. So as soon as Kane's out and he's literally like on the floor, Taker's trapped, like, he can't get out. And Kane's like, fuck it, I'm going home. And the whole time, like, as he's walking back, you're like, what the fuck? What are they going to do here? And Vader comes out. If you remember, Vader and Kane had a feud at the beginning of the year, which Kane would end up bashing Vader in the face, if I'm not mistaken, with a wrench. Was that the feud he did that with? I know he beat him for the mask later on, but I can't remember if that's the same one or not. But either way, they've had their run-in. So Vader comes out, starts whooping up on Kane. They start battling back. And Taker takes the opportunity to hit the ropes, and he just suicide dives like right over the top of this, wall of flames. Really cool visual that they would use in video packages from here on out. And Rifles, in fact, it was part of our intro video for a while too. It's fucking epic right there. I want to apologize. You can hear my son crying in the background. It's supposed to be his nap time while I'm doing this right here. And he's not receptive to it. I'm going to put him in an Inferno match later and we'll take care of that. Don't you worry about that. But anyways, so, Taker flies over the top, hits both of them. Vader just kind of fucks off after that, which I thought was kind of funny because it's just like after, and maybe that's his whole thing. He's just like, I got Kane back to the match, that's all I wanted to do, but it just seems like, I don't know, would you not have hung out a little bit more? I don't know. I might say, I don't know. It worked out the way it did. Just funny that, Kane or Vader just kind of disappears after that. Like he's a playable character or a non-playable character in a video game, and after you clobbered him down, he just disappears, Anyways, Paul Bearer shows up with a chair, tries to hit Taker with it, or he does hit Taker with it, doesn't do shit. Taker takes it away from him. He clobbers Kane with it a couple of good times, and then as Kane's fighting back and he has the chair and he gets his hand caught on fire and his arm goes up. Really, once again, another really cool visual as he is flailing around and he's running through back there. And there's all these like hang shit in the entrance ramp, and I'm just like, dude, you're gonna end up like setting the fucking place on fire. Luckily, he doesn't. He goes right through it. Again, kudos to Kane, Glenn Jacobs. Whatever the fuck, like. That was a stunt they had to like really kind of prep for. I mean, that's a dangerous fucking stunt. Kane Hodder, Hollywood, fucking stunt man who was Jason Voorhees for many years. Like he had a fire stunt go wrong, and his body is now like covered in like flames and shit. So it's just like, yeah, this could go. And he's a trained stunt guy. Like Kane's not a stunt guy. He's not suited for this. So it's like, once again, kudos. Like that's just fucking insane right there. But cool visual. Taker wins and kind of promptly ends the feud for a bit. They would pick it back up later, but for right now, this kind of sealed the deal. Like once you kind of set your opponent on fire, you're done. You're done. So there it is. Not really much aftermath on this because once again, the feud's kind of over at this point. They kind of go off and do their own things. So yeah, we'll get into my little review of this. I really liked it. I really thought this was a very solid match. I wouldn't give it a 4-star. I feel like it's just a smidge underneath that. We don't do quarter stars or half stars here, unless the final tallies work out that way. But if I was to do that, it'd be high up there, 3 3/4 or whatever. But we don't do that, so 3 stars. But it's a very high 3 stars. Once again, I think solid match. But this definitely builds more to just Taker's resume. Winning the first ever Inferno match. You get the video packages you can put after that, especially if him and Kane ever go at it. And it really was like this was the match. Like shit, Hell in a Cell's kind of the match that also kind of is like supposed to end feuds right there. Like this was it. You built it the hell up. Like the Inferno match kind of does that too in a way. And I'm really glad. Excuse me. Indigestion. I'm really glad to see like this thing really was kind of the cap, the end, at least for this run of the feud they had. So there it is, 3 stars. And that's it. That's all I got, guys. Thank you so much. Tune in. It'll be actually later on this month. It'll be our season finale, and we're going to be covering King of the Ring. King of the Ring, 1998. Are you shit? You know what match it is. You know what match that is. So come back. Again, now breaking kayfabe a bit. We record these in one day. So Simon won't be there for the season finale either. Get well soon, Simon. Can't wait to see you back next season. But yeah. But in the next episode, I'll probably play it off like we have been for like a whole month, so that he's been sick the entire month. But anyways, that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time.